Well, hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad that you guys are joining me today for the top 3 things that I've learned since starting this whole video editing, filmmaking journey. Now, before I begin, you gotta understand that I literally knew nothing when starting my YouTube channel. All that I knew is that I enjoyed watching other people's content. So I don't know about you guys, but personally, I don't go to Netflix, I don't watch Hulu, I don't watch any of the other streaming services. What I do is I watch YouTube videos. I love watching people, ordinary people, create content that other people enjoy. So that's kind of where my love for YouTube or maybe even starting a channel started. Whenever I have a question, I don't go to Google. Like, I don't know where you guys go with a question. I pretty much always go to YouTube. So I look at YouTube as a very useful tool, whether it is for entertainment purposes, watching somebody else, or whether it's to getting questions answered for do-it-yourself projects. So for that reason, I decided to start a YouTube channel. Now, let me just say, I have learned a ton in the first few weeks of starting this YouTube channel. So I want to go through the top 3 things that I've learned in case you're playing with the idea of starting a YouTube channel yourself. You want to know what to expect. Number 1, if you've never thought about starting a YouTube channel before, let me tell you as a heads up, power consumption is going to be an issue. Now, on my Blue Ridge camping video, if you saw that, which if you haven't, I'll put a link down in the comments so that you can go check it out yourself. But I used my iPhone 11 and a drone. And I can tell you that on the first day, my iPhone 11, who doesn't have a good battery anyway, because it's several years old, was already starting to get very low in battery. It was getting to dire straits, okay? So if you are going to do filmmaking with your own iPhone and try and make something that people will enjoy, you gotta really think proactively about battery consumption. What I use is a battery pack that I will post a link into the comments, but here it is. You can see that it's got a USB port, obviously, that connects to the cord that I charge my iPhone with. It obviously has a mini USB port, so that way you can charge it. And then it's got like 4 different lights on there, so you know how much battery is left. Now, I'll just let you guys know, that ran out too. So not only did I use all of my iPhone battery on the first day, but I also used all of my portable battery pack as well. Just keep this in mind. If you have a newer phone, it's probably not going to be as much of an issue, but if you have an older phone, the battery will definitely be an issue. Here's another thing. I used a drone. Now, the drone that I was flying is the Mavic Pro, which nowadays is old school on the drone scale. There's so many new things that are out right now that are just awesome, and this one's a little old school, but I have 3 batteries with that Mavic Pro. Also, you have to make sure that the controller is charged as well. So not only do I have an iPhone that I need to keep charged, I have 3 drone batteries and a controller that I need to keep charged. As you can imagine, this is a huge issue. Now, where we went camping was at the Blue Ridge campground up at Mount Pisgah. And they do not have electricity. So I had to come up with a way and think through, how do I want to get electricity? Now, let me tell you what I did, and let me tell you where my ideas kind of fell apart. Number 1, I brought a couple of generators up there that my dad lent me, so that way I could recharge devices and things like that. However, most campgrounds, not sure if you know this or not, at least in the area that I go camping, if they don't offer electricity, they set constraints on how often you can run your generators. So during the daytime, it's open. You can run your generators as much as you want. But I'm not the kind of guy that's at the campground during the day. I'm off on hikes. I'm videoing stuff, I'm flying the drone, I'm doing any number of things during the day. I'm not just hanging around the campsite. So this proved to be a problem because at nighttime, when I'm back at the campsite, you can't run the generators. So what I did is relied on my power station. This power station is a Goal Zero power station, and I love this guy. I've had it for a few years now, and I've used it while camping. I've used it while the power's out at the house. I've used it for any number of reasons. Even if maybe I'm going on a long car ride and my son wants to bring his iPad, I've just used this to keep his iPad charged. So I really love this power station. The issue is that the power station, it's not powerful enough. So somewhere along the lines, I'm going to have to get another power station. Because if you're staying in a campground that doesn't have electricity and you're wanting to do some type of filming, power is going to be an issue. There's no doubt. So a power station would really help. Now, I'd be more than happy to do a product review on that power station if you're interested in the specs, if you're interested in the weight and all that stuff, but I'm not going to do that in this video. But just leave a comment below if you would like for me to do product reviews like that. So if battery power is the first thing I learned about, the second thing I learned about on day number 2 of the shoot was memory. You got to understand that if you are the type of person that takes lots of pictures, you may already run into a memory thing yourself. But when you're taking videos, it's like way more gigs. I mean, like you are taking up so much space. And by the start of day number 2, I already had a memory issue on my phone. Now, here's the thing. I have to be completely honest here. People that do this a lot probably take a lot less video than I took. I took a ton. I was shooting angles all over the place. I was trying to get cool videos like this, cool videos like that, because I knew nothing about it, you know? So I'm just playing around, but all that playing requires memory. And so already in the start of morning number 2, or morning number 1, I guess, because it was the first morning I woke up, man, I was already having memory issues on my phone. And then after the first waterfall, I started having memory issues with the drone because I didn't reformat the 256 gigs memory card there. So I got 128 gigs on my phone and 256 gig memory card in the drone. And I had to delete a whole lot of footage from the drone, and I had to figure out a way to delete the footage from my iPhone. So here's what I did. I found a 2 terabyte external hard drive that was just laying around in my office that I had used from back when, I don't know, I had it last. I think I updated an old computer or something. So that's what I used, and I actually started putting that thing to work. So let me show you what I did in order to fix this whole photo memory situation. I have tons of photos and I don't want to delete them. Call me old-fashioned, I don't know, but I'm not going to delete some of these photos. So as a result, I needed to figure out a way to transfer these photos. Like I said, I got the 2 terabyte hard drive. So here's how you do it on the MacBook. So I'm going to bring up another window so that you can see while I do it in real time. So the first thing you got to do is locate the photos that you want to copy. So all of these photos starting here, going all through 2018 towards Christmas of 2018, which you'll start seeing some Christmas pictures pop up. You see these Christmas pictures? That's how I know we're getting pretty close to the end of the year. I think it actually extends probably somewhere close to right about here. So on these pictures, you're gonna take all of them, you're gonna open up your app that you have, or I'm sorry, not your app, your files that you have. I just named this photos from 2018. Now it's on my external hard drive, right? So I created a file called Photos of 2018 on my external hard drive. Now what I'm gonna do is just drag and drop. And when that happens, you're gonna see all of these pictures get transferred over to this folder, and it says it's 708 pictures. So boom, I just dragged and dropped them. And now this is gonna do its thing. It's gonna take all 708 of those photos, it's gonna put it onto this external hard drive. Then once that completes, all I have to do, log back in here, take all of those photos and drag them to the trash bin. And boom, just like that, you're gonna see how much more memory you get on your iPhone. Let me tell you a second way that I used to free up storage. There's actually, if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, I don't know what you're gonna do. You should get an iPhone. No, I don't know. I really have no clue about Androids. I'm just talking about iPhones. At this point, I went into my iPhone, the settings, and I looked at iPhone storage. And I wanted to see how much memory I have. And I used a setting that I've never used before, but it talked about eliminating apps that you haven't used in a while. And as soon as I did that, it helped to free up like 12 gigs. I guess I have a lot of apps. I don't know, but that helped to free up some space as well. So there's really a couple of different ways that I've used that can help free up storage so that you can have more memory on your devices. Ultimately, if you're gonna decide to go down this path where you're gonna start creating videos, you're gonna start editing them, you're gonna have to get creative about storage. It's just the way it works. But you just gotta find what works best for you. So what works best for me may be a 2 terabyte external hard drive. What may work best for you is the cloud or maybe even Dropbox. But whatever it is, you're gonna have to figure out a solution. Number 3, let's talk about editing. It's almost impossible to create good content without figuring out how to edit it all together. Now, let me just start off by telling you, I was always very, intimidated may be the word, about editing software. It always looked like there's so many different moving pieces. There's so many different audio, music, videos, words, different ways to play with all of that. I mean, it just seemed overwhelming. Well, I actually watched a 30-minute video on YouTube about how to edit on iMovie. Now, iMovie, if you don't know, is an app that comes with your Mac product. So if you got a MacBook, you probably have iMovie. It's something like GarageBand, but for movies instead of music. Well, 20 minutes into watching that video, I thought to myself, holy cow, I can do this. So I'm gonna put a link in the comments to that video so that if this is something that you want to look at, you can watch the video and think through it and possibly be able to do this too. Here's some basic tips that I've learned from just creating a couple of videos on iMovie. The first thing you want to think about is what's the mood that you want your video to have. Is it a fun, light, and airy mood? Is it an action-packed, a dramatic, build the intensity kind of mood? What mood do you want to set in your video? That's the first thing you got to think of. And the reason why is because your music helps determine your mood. And so if this is all new to you, I would highly encourage you to think through some music that you want to even before you start putting some shots into your editing software. If you get the right music, it's going to go a long way for you to work on this editing piece by yourself. When it comes to music, I'm using something called Epidemic Sound, which is really, I think, a very reasonable way for you to get music. Some music has words, some music's just instrumental. They also have sound effects. So if you want to have a ding pop up in your video for some reason, or a whistle or a train or whatever, they have a whole bunch of different sound effects that can help you tell the story that you want to tell in your video. At some point, I may change, but at this point, that's what I'm using, and I'll make sure to put a link in the description below. These are the 3 things that I learned. First, you're gonna need more battery power than you think. Second, you're gonna need more memory than you think, so you better come up with a solution. And finally, you have to figure out what you're gonna do for editing. You got to do it. You can edit videos. I'm telling you, if I can do it, you can do it too. So don't be intimidated. I'm more than happy to help with the limited knowledge that I have. Just leave a comment in the description. Well, we're at the end of another video. And if you stuck around to see this, I am so impressed with you. Thank you for supporting my channel. If you would like to partner with me to help with my next purchase, I'll post my Venmo in the description below. Right below my Venmo, I'll post a link for the product that I want next. It's called the DJI Osmo 6, and it is for people like me who shoot with their iPhone. It's only $150, and it will help me take my videoing to the next level. Every dollar helps. So if you feel led to give a little bit to the Venmo, feel free to do that. If not, don't worry. I'll see you guys on the next video.